Hey everybody, Alex from SCADA Forge here. In this video, we are going to go through the Ignition Launchpad, what it is, how to set it up, and then we'll dive into how to take advantage of what's in the existing projects, and then how to extend both the OEE project and the KPI project to quickly add value to what you're trying to build with Ignition. So first you want to go to the Ignition Launchpad page. If you want to read about what Launchpad is, you can scroll through this. You'll get some good information. You'll need to install your gateway, which you should already have at this point. And then you can see they have a KPI dashboard project and an OEE project. And then you'll also want to go down here to step 3 to visit the Launchpad manual, so you can get some detailed info on everything if you want to look at it from the inductive automation side of things. And then I guess you can also download some slides to help sell Ignition. And then you can also activate a free 90-day Ignition license if you're an end user or for any of your customers that are working with the Launchpad program. So the first thing you'll want to do is we will scroll here and we want to go to the KPI dashboards page. We'll click that and download the project. And that will take you to the Ignition Exchange, which we have also covered in some other videos. Then you'll want to download the project there. And then similarly, you'll find the OEE project here as well, and get that downloaded to your computer and extract those files into your file system. And that will give you a couple of folders. Here's the Launchpad OEE folder and the Launchpad KPI project as well. So if you open that up, you'll see a typical export, and then here under the configuration is a gateway backup in each of the Launchpad folders. If you're going to be starting with a brand new Ignition gateway and are only using one of these projects, that's the easiest way to get started. And then separately, you can import the projects directly. So if you already have an existing gateway, as we do in this case, or let's say you started with the OEE Launchpad project, restored that gateway, and you want to import the KPI project. If you do the gateway backup and restore process, it will overwrite what you have in there. So that way it would only allow you to do one of these on an Ignition gateway. To do that, you go to your Ignition gateway webpage. Once you have it installed and set up, then you go to Platform, Backup and Restore. Then you go to the Restore tab, and then typically we just leave these by default if you're on a fresh gateway. Then you click Select your backup file. Then you go to your Launchpad folder, Configuration, select this, hit Open, and then on the upper right you would click Restore Gateway. I don't want to overwrite what's in our gateway here, so I'm not going to go through that process in this, but that would be the way to restore a gateway backup. And that works for any gateway backup you're using in Ignition. For this video, we're going to go through the advanced installation, which is here in the Launchpad docs. If you click through the docs, you'll go into the advanced installation portion here and see what we're going to do here. So the first step is to create a SQLite database connection. This will automatically create a SQLite database for you once you create this connection. And if you click into the Connecting to SQLite portion here, we'll see what we're looking at in terms of where we need to put a path to our database file, where that will get created. Whether you're on Windows, Mac, or Linux, you'll follow your path here. We can also use relative paths if you're after 8.1.10, and you can put in these keywords, I guess. So this will allow you to automatically save to the data directory or to the local directory. And in this case, you would then add your folder and file name after the fact there. In this case, we'll just put it in the data folder here, which we can also copy from here, paste, and we will call this launchpad.db, and we can leave everything else by default. We'll create that, click valid, or we'll check that that says valid, so that means the file is created. We will create our launchpad _OEE. Otherwise, you'll run into an error when you go to the final step in the project. Again, we will paste this. Call this launchpad-OEE and create database connection, and that shows valid as well. And just a note, if you want to use an existing database for your KPI or OEE projects, like in this case, if we wanted to use SCADA, we could simply create that database connection. We don't need to create the SQLite database connections if we don't want to. Then the only change you would need to make is you would need to go into the designer for both the KPI and OEE projects. Go to project properties and change your default database here to match what you would like to use. In the configuration setting, it's going to come across automatically as Launchpad. You could also use a different database engine if you want. Like here, we're using PostgreSQL for SCADA. Here, we just did SQLite. That minimizes the amount of configuration you need to do to get up and running. But if, say, we wanted a Postgres or a MariaDB database for Launchpad or Launchpad _OEE, we could simply create it with a different driver than SQLite, and that would give us that flexibility. And then the other note is when you are in the data, so let's go to Exchange, Launchpad. We have history configured here, say on the air pressure tag. So if we pull that up, we'll see that it's using a Launchpad for the storage provider, which currently isn't set up and isn't mentioned in the advanced installation documents. So for that, we would go back to our gateway. We would go to Services, Historians, and there we go. Then we would create a historian. In this case, we're storing it in a different spot, so we could go to SQL Historian and select our Launchpad data source and call it just Launchpad. And we'll just change our partition unit to 1 week, or partition unit can be months. We'll do data pruning just for 1 month, just so we're not loading up the demo server here. And then we can create this historian, and that's running. And now we will track history. In this case, since we already have the core historian set up with history here, if we wanted to modify where these get written to, we would simply go through the tags and select history here. And that would then update to store in our core historian as well. So that will effectively give you the ability to store this history data wherever you want. If you're not using the demo tags, that's not really a big deal. You're probably either creating or have already created tags with history in your historical database. And you can just leverage those as needed. But if you haven't set that up, that's one thing to note, at least as of the time of the recording, is not mentioned in the advanced installation docs. Let's see, advanced installation for KPI, we created the database. Then we need to import the projects. Our ignition gateway, we'll go to platform, and under system, we'll select projects. We will import a project. We will choose a file, and we will go back to Launchpad. Let's do OEE first. We'll go to the projects folder and import the Launchpad OEE.zip file. And we'll just call that Launchpad OEE. And that doesn't exist currently, so we'll leave allow overwrite as default, and we'll hit import. And that creates our Launchpad OEE project here. And then we will also import the KPI project. So we'll go to the KPI folder, projects, KPI zip, call that Launchpad KPI, and hit import. So now we have our projects imported. The next step is to create the programmable device simulator and call it Launchpad. So we will go to connections, devices, connections. We will create a new device connection. Scroll down to programmable device simulator. And we will call this Launchpad with a capital L. And we will select no program for now. And create device connection. So that creates our Launchpad device here. You see that it's running. We'll click the little button here and go to Edit Program. Here we will do an import. To import a CSV file, we will drag, or we'll click here to upload. We will go to tags folder, select Launchpad CSV, and we will import that. And that should give us all the tags that we need. And let's see if there's anything else we need to set. Nope, select file, which we did. Select the file, load simulation program, and then save program. So we will save changes there. Finally, we need to import our tags into our project. So we'll go to our designer. So we can right click, import tags. We'll just go to direct. We'll go to Launchpad KPI tags, Launchpad KPI tags.json. And under here, under its Exchange Launchpad, we'll see that we have tags pulled across here. Let's also go to import tags, direct, yes. Let's go to our OEE project. Ooh, and this gives us UDTs and tags. So we imported our UDT definitions here. We'll want to do that first so that they're referenced. Then we'll come here, import tags, direct, yes. Import the OEE tags, so we'll open that. And that gives us an OEE folder. So the KPI gives us a program that we can import, and then OEE just gives us memory tags, which is fine. So we will work with that accordingly. And again, we're just doing this live for the first time to show you how simple it is to get started, hence a couple questions just going through that. Since we have the OEE project open here, let's go to the OEE resource, installation, advanced installation, and Ooh, this has some different steps in it. Okay. Okay, so we also need to go to Gateway Settings and Gateway Scripting page. Go to Gateway Settings, Gateway Scripting Project. We'll select Launchpad OEE. Next, we need to go into a session of the client and do some things. Since we have the OEE project opened up first, we'll do that. So we will launch a perspective session. Tools, launch perspective, launch session. Then we will go to the settings page, click the Create Tables button. And since we named the database properly, that works. Database setup complete. We can hit refresh. And now we are good to go. We see here now we have a current rate. This is no longer errored out. Default 15 minutes. And if we go here, that is the final step of installation for the OEE project. And if we go to the KPI project, we need to go to the dashboard screen and initiate dashboard. So we can either go through the designer and open that up, or we can come up to the URL here, and our project is Launchpad space KPI. %20 is space, so that will load that up. Then we go to dashboard, initiate dashboard, and that creates our initial dashboard here. And then from there we can go to how to use the KPI resource, which we'll cover in the next video, as well as the OEE resource. This gives us setup so that we can get into setting up shifts and things if we want to, which we will cover in separate videos for the OEE project as well. Thank you for watching.